Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Porch. I hope that you are all doing well. As you could probably see from this video, things are a little bit different this time around. Basically, I just got back home a little while ago, back in my hometown. I wanted to do something different for this video. So today we've got this lav mic, which I bought just recently for some upcoming stuff I want to do on this channel, or maybe even with something else. So yeah, here we are, and let's just go ahead and get right into it. So as you can probably tell from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about my favorite picks from the 2021 NFL Draft. It happened 2 weeks ago now to this day, pretty close to that. So for this, I just wanted to basically go through my favorite picks, and we're gonna go my top 10 favorites, and let's just go ahead and get into it. Also, this is gonna be a little jankier just because I just have the notes on my phone here. Don't have a lot to say about some of these, but there were a lot of picks I really loved in this draft, and unfortunate for me, they were all basically division rivals. And let's go ahead. So first off, I've got 5 honorable mentions. So I've got Creed Humphrey going in the 3rd round to the Chiefs. And as I started doing this video, of course it starts to rain, so this should be very interesting. So then I've got also another honorable mention, Terrace Marshall to the Panthers in round 2, I believe. After him, Samuel Cosmi in round 2 to the Washington football team. After that, Trayvon Merrick going in the 2nd round to the Raiders, who had a really weird first 2 rounds of the draft. And my final honorable mention goes to Jalen Phillips going to Miami in the 1st round. So then let's go ahead. My number 10 spot, Trey Lance going to the San Francisco 49ers at pick number 3. Pretty simple here. The 49ers basically avoided the Mac Jones smokescreen. I said this was gonna happen. I said that the Mac Jones thing was just a smokescreen. It was getting leaked because somebody wanted it to get leaked. So that was my whole thoughts on it. I would have been okay with either Justin Fields or Trey Lance at this spot for the 49ers, but with their current situation and Jimmy G still being on the roster, it makes perfect sense that you would take a guy like Trey Lance, because we've seen Jimmy G, not necessarily him, but we've seen a team with Jimmy G on it go to the Super Bowl in the past. Just taking that into account, I really like what they did here, and basically any quarterback they drafted would have been really good in this Kyle Shanahan offense, but specifically Trey Lance, who did a lot of run-heavy stuff at North Dakota State, is gonna fit right in here. At number 9, this is a pick that really hurt me. Quinn Meinerz going to the Denver Broncos in round 3. I thought that he was a day 2 pick. I thought for sure he should have been in the 2nd round. I would have really loved the Packers to draft him at our pick, either him or Creed Humphrey, who Creed Humphrey happened to go in the pick directly after Josh Myers, who we took in the 2nd round, which, man, I'm gonna have to put out grades for drafts because the Packers are not gonna be very favored by me, let's just say that. Anyway, Quinn Meinerz is a really good guard. He's got a really big chip on his shoulder, being from a small school, being from Wisconsin Whitewater. He's just a great player, and I love the value that the Broncos got for him using their compensatory pick on Quinn Meinerz at my number 9 spot. Next, we have at number 8, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah going to the Cleveland Browns in the 2nd round. This is a guy who I had mocked to their spot even in the 1st round, and I also had other teams potentially taking him in the 1st round. I guess he had some kind of heart issue, something along those lines that kept him from being picked in the 1st round, but I don't have any access to that. I just know what I can see from players, and based on what the Cleveland Browns need, he was an absolutely perfect pickup for them. Really loved the pick. Would have been great value at their 1st pick, who they took Greg Newsome with, but then to get him on top of getting JOK in the 2nd round, that's already like a B+, A- class right there. So Browns did a fantastic job in this class. JOK was just another example of it. So it is raining now. It's more of a sprinkle, but I kind of picked like the worst possible time to do this, if I'm being honest. Doesn't matter, I got to get this video out, so we will trot on here. And to trot on to our next pick, that being Teven Jenkins from Oklahoma State, going in the second round to the Chicago Bears. I really liked this pick. They did have to trade up for him, which is something that I'm not going to knock a team for doing. If you like your guy, go get him. But it does kind of bring the value down a little bit, unless it's just like an insane value, which we'll have a pick kind of like this upcoming. But Teven Jenkins is going to slot right in that tackle for them. He's an amazing run blocker, so if Andy Dalton doesn't work out, or for another guy we'll mention later on this list, runs the ball a lot, he's a very good runner. He could be used in that facet as well of the game with more designed run concepts, things of that nature. Overall, he just has a mean demeanor to him. And I also heard he had some sort of heart issue or something of the sort, which caused him to fall out of the first round, which I get it, but at the same time, a lot of teams might be looking back on this class, wishing that they had Teven Jenkins on their team right now. Number 6, I have Rashod Bateman going to the Ravens. This was mocked by basically everybody, but at the same time, I mean, it was a perfect pick. They got him at perfect value, if I'm being honest. Oh boy, it's really starting to come down now. I'm gonna have to take cover here in a little bit. They got him at great value. He was an absolute need for this team. They have Hollywood Brown and Sammy Watkins, who are really good on the outside, and Hollywood Brown is a deep threat, but Lamar definitely needs someone he can throw the ball over the middle to, and within 5 to 10 yards, within that intermediate range, Rashod Bateman is as good as anybody in this class. So he can also play out of the slot if you need him to, but I also think there's a very good chance he could take over as wide receiver 1 for this team even as early as this year. So really great pick there by the Ravens. Then my number 5 pick, Asante Samuel Jr, going to the Chargers in the second round. This is another guy I would have loved to see the Packers take in the first round with their first pick. They went Eric Stokes instead. Don't necessarily agree with the pick, but it happened. Asante Samuel is going to come in there and replace Casey Hayward. He's going to do his job. He's very good in man coverage. Just really like the value. I don't know why he fell. I didn't see any reports that came out afterwards as to why he would have fallen, but he did. Chargers picked him up. They had an amazing draft. They'll have another guy later on this list. Asante Samuel, he is at my spot there. So real quick here, I just came to my local gazebo to take some cover, and pretty decent view, especially when you get toward the nighttime more. Then it gets to be a lot prettier, but this is the Wisconsin River. So yeah, I think actually I might just sit down here and film the rest of this thing inside of here while it's still raining outside. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, next up on the list is Justin Fields at number 4, going number 12 in the draft to the Chicago Bears. When I saw this pick happen live, I was like, holy crap, what a freaking pick that was. A bit unfortunate for, me as a Packer fan that this pick happened, but for the Bears, this might have saved Ryan Pace's job. It for sure gives him at least 2 years added on to whatever he was at before. He's got an extra 2-year window now to really show what he can do. Andy Dalton, as decent of a quarterback, as average of a quarterback as he is, he was not going to bring hope to this team. Mitch Trubisky didn't bring hope to this team. Justin Fields brings hope to this team. He is someone you can look at in the future, as a franchise quarterback. And they got him at number 12. They had to trade up for him, which is why he is a little bit lower. They had to give up, some first-round picks for him. But if it works out, absolutely home run, slam dunk, put in the books, whatever you want to call it. Amazing draft pick by Ryan Pace. Kudos to him. He's gotten a lot of flack in Chicago. This might have been his best pick yet. Only time will tell, really, but that's what I think. At number 3 is a guy I had going in the top 10, Rashawn Slater, at number 13 to the Chargers. This was, as I talked about on the Blitz a little bit with Sam Daring, go check that out if you haven't already. This was a guy who, if he fell to the Chargers, they would scoop him up in a heartbeat. There were a lot of concerns about him going first to the Panthers at number 7 or 8, which I thought that's where he was going to go. That's where I had him mocked. They obviously went J.C. Horn. Different route, whatever. Then I had the Giants at number 11 as another potential spot where he could have gone. They traded out and got Kadarius Toney instead. So this really was best case scenario for the Chargers. They didn't have to trade up for him, anything like that. He just kind of fell in their laps to him, if I'm being honest. So outstanding pick there by the Chargers. Just kind of right there on the table. Easy A+ pick from me. And then moving on into the final 2 picks I have. Warning, these are both going to be from the Vikings. Number 2, I have Kellen Mond going at the top of the 3rd round to the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins is a fine quarterback. He's an average to above average quarterback. But Kellen Mond was great value for them. He is the 6th best quarterback in this class behind, like after you get, after Mac Jones, then I think you start to get into the territory of guys who need to sit definitely for a year, or their upside isn't quite as high as the first 5 guys, I think, in this class. And Kellen Mond fits that mold. He is inconsistent, but he's got everything there. He's a little bit mobile. He's got the arm. He's got everything, all the tools that you could want from a franchise QB, but it's the inconsistency for him. Sometimes he plays a little bit too much within the system, doesn't improvise nearly enough, as some teams would maybe like. But being able to sit behind Kirk Cousins, that's going to be huge for him. And Zach Schaumler from Strong Opinion Sports had said that he has a chance to take over Kirk's job within year 1. I think that's a possibility. Will it happen? I don't think so, but I think it's like a 60-40 chance that Kellen Mond is the starting quarterback, let's say 8 weeks into the season. So I loved the value of the Kellen Mond pick. I think he was the best quarterback in this class after Mac Jones. I understand why the Bucs took Kyle Trask, but I would have loved to see them take Kellen Mond instead. And he fell into the laps of the Vikings. They didn't have to trade up for him. He was just there. And I love the pick. All that needs to be said about it. And then my number 1 spot, once again to the Vikings, who just had an outstanding draft, really. They get Christian Darrisaw with the 23rd, I think, pick in this draft. A guy who I had mocked to them at 14, if he was available, because I had the Chargers taking Darrisaw because Slater was off the board. This was another perfect fit, scheme fit, talent, value spot. But not only do they do that, they traded out of number 14 and they managed to get an extra pick and still get the guy who they wanted at 14. That is incredible value, incredible GM work, just an amazing pick overall. This is, along with Kellen Mond, Justin Fields, Rashawn Slater, these are all A+ picks, which I don't hand out very lightly. A+ picks, you really have to have the talent or value at the spot you get drafted. This was one of those instances where everything lined up, and this was a perfect fit, perfect value, perfect scheme. Everything just lined up with this spot here for Christian Darrisaw to the Vikings. All right, I think that the rain might be letting up a little bit here. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to get out of here and try to head back home. Before I do that, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below of my picks. Who did you like? What were some of your favorite picks in the draft? Let me know. If you liked what you saw today, make sure you like the video and subscribe so you never miss another NFL upload. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this setup, of me just kind of taking the camera around, walking around a little bit, and sort of getting out of the office, quote unquote, for this video. Let me know what you thought of it. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.